and I'm sharing because I care, and I'm trying to sneak this one in. So I'm going to give you guys a second so you can come on. I'm at my mom's house in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I'm taking a chance because in my mom's house, it may be quiet for a second and then it's out of control loud, right? So for me to take a chance on posting something in my mom's house, it must be important. Okay. Because it is just not that quiet. And I'm posting something on Velveeta cheese. We're going to talk about Velveeta cheese because most people, when I mention I made my mom's mac and cheese, they quickly go, "Oh, what kind of cheese did you use?" And I say Velveeta. And they look at me almost like, "How can you be a nutritionist? How can you be promoting health and you're telling people to choose Velveeta, like a plastic cheese, is not even real?" And I go, "Wow, you know what? There's some things you may not be aware of." And then when I posted today, or every year around Thanksgiving or Christmas, I'll post my mom's mac and cheese recipe, which I use. My kids like it. My daughter's actually making uh, this recipe with Velveeta cheese. And when she mentioned it to one of her friends, they're like, "How? That's not even real cheese." And it's so interesting how people just jump to the conclusion that they think they know something and they really don't know. So let's go to school because you know um, it's mind blowing to me. But I see this in a whole bunch of areas. Like we think we know certain things, but we don't know certain things. Does that make sense? It's like people just assume things without really looking at the research. So let me I want to break down a couple things for you. Okay. Now Velveeta cheese is not cheese. So let's take a look at this box because the marketing is what really gets people. When you look at Velveeta, nowhere on the packaging do you see cheese. Now you will see it says, and I'm holding one here. It's the one that you have right there on the screen. You'll see in the bottom right hand corner it says pasteurized, which means there's heat involved. Recipe cheese product. It does not say cheese. We have just assumed it's cheese because it looks like cheese. Now, just because it's not cheese doesn't mean that it's unhealthy. There's a lot of cheeses out there that I see people buying and enjoying that aren't what they think it is. Like there's some cheese you can buy that's gluten free, and there's other cheese that you buy that has gluten in it because a lot of stuff is hydrogenized. So here's the deal. Velveeta, okay, is used to be made as a real cheese, but it's not cheese. It's made mostly of whey protein concentrate. Now, have you ever used whey protein powder? So now, if you look at whey protein powder as a negative, then okay, I hear you. But but people are consuming whey protein powder like in concentrate in a lot of things. So Velveeta is made out of whey protein concentrate, milk protein concentrate, real whole milk, fat, and some preservatives. And the preservatives are not over the top, out of control. I mean, the preservatives include, a seed oil, which I'm not happy about, but it's canola oil. So it's a little lower in what we call linoleic acid, which is the negative of that. And I don't eat this all the time. It's not like I eat, Velveeta on a daily basis. But it has a little bit of canola oil, which is a negative in my opinion, if we're going to get hardcore. Um, Other than that, there's not much to really be concerned with. I mean, the color that's in there is a natto, which is natural. Yeah. So what is there to complain about? It is nowhere near what you think it is. It's kind of like if you think about back in the day when I was a little kid, if you went to the movie theaters, the popcorn that you were getting wasn't mostly butter. It was mostly um, not canola oil, um, not canola oil. Help me out here. Coconut oil. Jesus. it was mostly they cooked it in coconut oil with some butter, because if you use coconut oil, butter, if you add to it, the coconut oil will take on the flavor of the butter. And that was way healthier for us than the stuff that they are using now. Okay, so stay with me. Okay, so in my opinion, Velveeta cheese, I give it a thumb up. One of the two reasons why I give it a thumb up, number one, is that it's a good source of conjugated linoleic acid. And conjugated linoleic acid is something that is very beneficial. That's what makes a lot of products, to include coconut oil, a benefit, right? So conjugated linoleic acid is great. And if you can get that, that's awesome. Is mostly made up of whole milk cheddar cheeses, and it's a very good source of calcium. Okay, so you follow me? And Velveeta, for those of you who are avoiding gluten, there is no gluten in Velveeta cheese. So that is a win-win. However, there are some cheeses out there that will contain gluten. And a lot of people don't look at the ingredients, so they don't even know, right? So you have American cheese. A lot of American cheese has gluten in it. Blue cheese, cottage cheese, dairy-free cheeses, powdered cheese, ricotta cheese, shredded cheese, string cheese, queso cheese, dip, have gluten. Now, some of the cheeses that you can buy that are more, because it's not naturally occurring, right? So usually there's another process. But if you buy, brie or cheddar, cream cheese, feta cheese, goat cheese, Parmesan, provolone, Swiss, those are cheeses where there's no gluten, no concern. But again, here's the point. Don't be quick to judge food unless you have the data and the information to support the comments that you're putting out there. So when someone comes at me and say that Velveeta cheese is not real cheese, I look at them and I say, you are absolutely correct. But does that make it bad? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Velveeta, if you use a protein powder, especially whey, don't ever say anything negative about Velveeta. Now, if you're against whey protein powder, then okay, because that's one of the major ingredients. But they're using whole milk. It's a really good product. I mean, it is for people who want that cheese flavor. It's real. But when you look at the product again, if you look closely when you're at the store, you will not see that it claims to be cheese. Now, someone just asked me the question, Irene Wagner, thank you for asking this question. Is gluten bad? If so, why? I eat gluten every day, all the time. Now, some people have what this disease called celiac disease. And if you have celiac, then you want to avoid gluten. If you just think or someone assumes that you're gluten sensitive or you have celiac, don't listen to these people. People are crazy. Like, there's a lot of products out there that are advertising gluten-free, no gluten, even when they would naturally not have gluten. Just you got to be informed. That's just a waste. That's just marketing. And a lot of people are avoiding foods with gluten in it, thinking it will make them healthier, and it's actually causing them to not be as healthy. There's a lot of products that we consume, whether it's your wheats, there's some whole grains that you may be eating that have gluten in them, and they're helpful to your microbiome, your gut health. They're helpful for a whole bunch of reasons. So unless you have been diagnosed by a legit physician who's done the right testing that you have celiac, don't get caught up in the hype. Again, there's there's way more hype out there than anything else. Don't get caught up in the hype. And again, I mentioned Velveeta. Velveeta's fine. I just don't get caught up in all the craziness. Okay. If you are not someone who's living with celiac, there is no need for you to avoid gluten. None at all. Okay? None at all. At all. Okay, so I was able to squeeze this in before my mom started getting loud, and because there's a lot going on here, but I just wanted to share this information because I get people who make comments before having knowledge. And I'm talking about Velveeta. Now, if you know something about Velveeta that I don't know, then bring it to me. I can't wait to have the conversation. Uh, but if you're just guessing and repeating what you think you know, then those people, notice I'll comment on them if they make comments. I'll say you're uninformed. You're just uninformed. That's not a negative, or we get to say they're ignorant, right? They're just unaware of the truth. Um, and I'm not here promoting packaged and processed foods. That's not my thing. Like I said, there's canola oil in it, which is a seed oil, but it's a minute amount. So nothing that would be concerned unless you were eating Velveeta every day, 365 days a year. And I don't think you're going to be eating Velveeta that often. Okay, so are we good? I think we're good. Hey, and I want to take this moment to wish all of you who are catching this live or the replay a happy Thanksgiving. May you be in a position to be with family or communicate with family and enjoy the festivities that go with everyone that you love and care about coming together and just giving thanks for what you have at this moment. You know what I mean? It's like being thankful. And that's one of my new daily things that I do is I wake up in the morning and I first give thanks. Seriously, before I turn on my phone, before I check my email, just thankful. I have two daughters. I have a family. My mom is alive. A lot of my cousins and family. I'm thankful that I get to see their smiling faces, and I'm thankful to be in Indiana at this very moment. I'm just thankful because life is short, as we all know. None of us are going to be here forever, but we can be fully aware and engaged in the fact that we can say out loud how thankful we are. So I'm thankful. Okay. Thankful, thankful, thankful. And I hope you guys have a great one. And again, this is Robert Ferguson. I share because I care. And now you have a better understanding about Velveeta. And when you meet those people, because you will meet them, and they will say, oh, Velveeta is not even cheese. Don't be upset with them. Be nice and loving and just respond with, no, it's not. But did you know that Velveeta is not as bad as people think it is? It's actually healthier than a lot of cheeses. They go, what? Yeah. Now there is a canola oil in it, which is a seed oil. But if you're not eating a lot of seed oils, then I think occasionally having your mac and cheese or whatever you use Velveeta for, I think it'd be fine. Like when I was at one of my daughter does cheer, and they didn't have a lot of lunch options. So I went up there and they had chips covered with cheese. And if you didn't know this, now you know, is that when you're at games and events like that, they're using Velveeta cheese because it melts better and it covers the cheese better. And you have that taste that people like. So I got nachos with cheese. And that was my snack. Wasn't a meal, but that was my snack. Now, looking at a lot of the other stuff I saw people eating, they were probably looking at me going, yeah, that's probably not the best choice. And I'm looking at them going, I know what you're eating is not the best choice. Big difference. So anyway, there's a lot of people who think they know and they're quick to make judgments, but they don't know. I mean, this is what I do, right? It's kind of like if I don't know how to build a car or add a bumper to a car. I mean, I've never worked in a factory, but I would be open-minded if I was there and not just assume. I would be like, all right, show me. And I would do that in any field. But in the world of nutrition and what we do, Velveeta is not the worst thing out there. There's a lot of things that people are consuming that is 1,000% probably the worst thing they could be consuming. And it's not Velveeta. All right. So anyway, I'm Robert Ferguson. Thank you for your time. And you guys have a good one. Remember, be mindful. A lot of people won't be during the holidays, and they'll feel horrible by the time the day comes to an end. And all they can think about is how they need to lose weight and get rid of that horrible feeling that they're experiencing in their waistline. I'm not doing that, but I do know how to space it out, and I know how to eat the foods that I want to eat without getting that feeling. So just be mindful. Take your time. Enjoy. God bless. Until the next one,